Was my marriage God's will? Number one, if it's not God's will, it will not be easy. It will be uneasy and it will have a lack of peace. And that is my exact experience in the marriage from the beginning. There was a constant lies and misleading information, promises that were broken, things said, but then they never actually came to be, or it was things that were going to be done, and then time goes on and those things never really showed up. So it was a constant state of uneasiness. And as the marriage went on, as I got more into the later years in the marriage, towards the breakdown, it was just a constant state of nervousness and unrest and confusion and unnecessary arguments and just ridiculousness, just causing a disruption of peace. There was no peace to be had. Everything was an issue for some reason. And that is not how God brings things into our life. There are always going to be ups and downs, but it's not a constant unrest, non-resolution situation, constant conflict. That is just not the way of God. Number two, it was not prosperous. The marriage, there was no fruit. I was beyond a time frame to actually have children, so it was unknown that there would be no fruit of children. However, there was no growth. You know, I'm working, I'm changing jobs. Within that marriage, I doubled my income, and I'm working towards home ownership is what was my desire within the marriage. But I kept being dragged back, or having to reach back and pull him along, and he's just constantly pulling me. I'm thinking I'm pulling him along, but he was really dragging me backwards. And it was just running on a treadmill, a hamster on a wheel. It was just like, I can see where I'm going, I can see where I want to go, I can see where I possibly can go, and I'm running. I'm actually moving towards it. I just don't realize that he basically has me on a chain of some sort, and I'm just running, 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 but I'm not going anywhere. There was no, at a point in the marriage, I believe as of maybe 2017, 2016, I had got to a point where I was, let's see, 2024, we're going to go back 2019. So maybe around 2017, I had got to a point where my credit score was 805. I'm trying to do what I can to, get the credit, get bills paid off, try to get some money saved so that this home ownership thing can take place. And the ex just was not trying to do anything to grow. And again, towards the later days in the marriage, well, basically as of 2022, the initial big explosion of breakdown, I let him know that there was no growth. I can't grow with him. And I did express that to him. Um, to no avail. He really didn't show a lot of concern or care, but that was what I expressed to him at that time. But just in general, everything that I was trying to do was being blocked, and I wasn't pulling him along. He was actually holding me back. There were no vessels that I could see in the marriage, meaning there was, we didn't have a church family. We weren't attending church. I can't say that that, I can't blame that on the marriage because as I see it, this marriage was doomed from the start because it wasn't sent by God. But there were no vessels. There was no therapy. There were no church. There was no people in our lives that spoke into our marriage. He had whoever he had to support him as an individual. And as previous messages I've recorded has explained, a lot of his support came off of his delusion and the lies that he told people, and actually the sabotage of my character, that he gave to them. So he's getting individual support and acknowledgement and things like that, but it wasn't a support of the marriage, a speaking life into our marriage, a seeing an issue in our marriage and help in the marriage, and just vessels to, even for him, if it was going to be individual, if it was more of a truthful individual type of consultation that he was having with someone, then he may have been able to get more information to point out the error of his ways so that he can then show up as a leader in the marriage on a more level, fair playing field. But there was no knowledge, no understanding, no third party connection, for us to assist us in the challenges in our marriage, and the individual consultation that either of one of us had. As far as on his side, it was based off of lies, and he wasn't getting the proper guidance to, that would be conducive to a healthy marriage. Also, there were close calls, and the close calls were, we got on the verge of eviction multiple times, and we actually got evicted from his doing, his lying, his claiming to have paid the rent, not having paid the rent. He ran off with his mom on vacation, took his son, and meanwhile, me and my children are at the house, and this is in our first year of marriage. Me and my children are at the house, and we're getting an eviction notice multiple times, locked out the house, doors kicked off, police broken into the house, kicking the doors down and stuff, for this eviction, and then multiple eviction notices. And it's like, wait, I thought you paid the bill. So I could never trust what he actually said. And he would lie and say, I took care of it, I did it. And, I want to believe him. So he challenged me on, oh, I need proof. But then he didn't have proof, but he challenged me on wanting proof as if it's something wrong with me wanting him to prove. And it was something wrong with me with not believing him, even though he has proven himself not to be trustworthy, and shown me that I cannot believe him in the things that he says. So it was multiple close calls of our living situation going in shambles, close calls of near breakups because of the untruths and lies and misleading information. That is not of God. It's going to be challenges, but it shouldn't be lies like that. And then it was third party observations. And what I will say is Kyle definitely, even though it came out rudely, he definitely saw the flaws in him, and saw the true lies of him, the true deceitful manner of him. Also, my own dad, he said, I don't think he's the one for you. Just hearing my truthful stories about situations, my dad just did not feel that that was the right person for me. All of this means he's not of God. It was not, the marriage was not of God. The marriage was not God's will for my life.